What up? Um, One of the most fun things that I like to do on my channel is do mystery frags. Most of y'all know I love to do blind reviews, which means I don't know anything about the fragrance. I don't know the notes. But I started something about 2 years ago that I still find real fun to do. That is, I'll ask another fragrance reviewer if they want to do a mystery frag, which is I will make up a decant of a specific fragrance. I won't label it. I'll put what the fragrance is in a sealed envelope. Let them have it. They can do a first impression or they can wear it for a while, but they can't look inside the sealed envelope to see what it is. They have to guess, or they have to give their opinion on it and try to guess what notes it is and maybe what house it's from. Um, and during their video of them trying to guess what it is, then they can open up the envelope and then announce what it is. To me, one thing that I find fun to do about this fragrance is you have to use your brain more than if you already know what the fragrance is. If you already know what the fragrance is, that makes reviews so easy. And a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, if you already know the fragrance and you have those notes in your head, you're going sometimes to make yourself believe you smell a certain note that you wouldn't really smell if you didn't know the notes at all. So you have to use your imagination more. You have to use your knowledge more and your brain more trying to guess what a fragrance is and trying to guess the notes if you don't know anything about the fragrance. It makes it a lot more hard to do that. And I like to do that. I think that's more fun than already knowing everything about the fragrance. But I consider him a friend. He's a fellow fragrance reviewer. His name is That Cologne Guy. A couple of months ago, I sent him a mystery frag, and he already did the video of it. And I didn't ask him to send me one. He just sent me one because he said he thought it was fun to do this too. So he wanted me to have a mystery frag from him. So this is not initial impression. He made up a decant, and I've already wore this like 3 or 4 times. The reason I'm not doing a first impression is because first impression, you don't really sometimes know what the mid is going to be like. Sometimes you don't know what the dry down is going to be like. You only know what the opening is. So I wanted to wear this a few times before I did this review to really, really get a feel about this fragrance and to find out what the mid is like and what the dry down is like. And I wanted to do this a few times before I made this video. He sent me a couple of cards that he wanted me to read during this mystery frag review. These are all still sealed. I haven't looked. I have no idea what this fragrance is. And he didn't label the decant either. He taped it up pretty good, so I don't know. But one of the envelopes, he sent me 3 envelopes. He sent me what the fragrance is actually like. I will read that last. Um, a hint of what the fragrance is, and also he sent me comic relief to buy you more time if you are filming and trying to guess the fragrance. All right, I already have this on, and I wore this last night, and I wore it a few days ago also. So I want to tell you what I think about this fragrance before I open any up any of these envelopes. To me, this fragrance inside this decant, I think it's niche because the quality is very high and it doesn't smell like a designer to me. A lot of designers smell alike. So I think it's niche. I definitely think it's at least EDP concentration because the first time, well, every time I wear this, this fragrance is very full, thick, robust. It smells at least like an EDP. It does not smell like EDT. By the way, I could be wrong about everything. I'm just telling you what I think in my head. I get lavender. This is a sweet fragrance, and I think it's unisex, leaning maybe a little bit feminine. This is sweet fragrance. The dominant accord to me is floral. The floral in here, I think, is lavender. I get a little bit of spices, which I think is probably cardamom. I get something strange, not strange, unusual for a fragrance that it took me a while to try to figure out what it was. I think there's saffron in here. I think. So it's the notes that I think it is, the main notes, especially during the opening and the mid, is lavender, saffron, cardamom. I think it's niche, at least EDP. Let me go ahead and open up the Comic Relief envelope. This is fun. I like to do stuff like this. Thank you, that Cologne guy. It says nothing quite says sophisticated like putting Gorilla Tape over the decant. That's funny. I agree. When I first opened this, I was like, is this like decant been melted or something? But it's Gorilla Tape. That's what it is. All right, let's open up the hint. By the way, Cologne Guy is one of my favorite reviewers. I love to watch his reviews. He's like a really good fragrance reviewer. He has a lot of knowledge. He's funny. He's got a really good sense of humor, similar to mine. Sometimes a dry sense of humor. But he's one of my favorite. I think he's one of the best fragrance reviewers on YouTube myself. And I really mean that. I'm not just saying that. All right, let's see. Hint. You have received at least one fragrance from this house. Oh, yeah. I was actually meaning to tell you what I think this is. There's another thing that I'm getting in here that it reminds me of Baccarat Rouge 540. You know, Baccarat Rouge 540 has that cotton candy type of sweet smell. This seems to have a little bit of that. So I'm thinking that it's either Baccarat Rouge or either maybe a clone of Baccarat Rouge or either something from Francis Mission Kirkjohn. This also reminds me of another fragrance, and I can't remember what it was. There's a fragrance by Penhaligon's that this reminds me of. So I think it possibly is either Francis Mason Kirkjohn or Penhaligon's. That's what I'm thinking. All right, let's see the fragrance. I swear I have no idea what this fragrance is. I have not looked. I think most of y'all trust me anyway. The people on here, most of my subscribers know that I think they know I'm pretty trustworthy. So, all right. Let's see how correct I am. You know, when I first started doing mystery frags a long time ago, when I did mystery frags myself, the first couple of times I was sort of afraid to do mystery frag or blind reviews because um, I wouldn't know anything about the fragrance, and I was like, what if I do a blind review and get it completely wrong? I don't care about that anymore. I don't care if I'm wrong. This is a lot harder than most people think. Um, so if I'm wrong, that's fine. I think it's fun to do. I would have. Wow, I'm way off. Well, I'm right about the Mancera niche. Oud lemon lemon mint. I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have guessed that. The funny thing is, I don't get lemon and I don't get oud. So I would have never guessed this at all. Wow. Interesting. See, this makes me want to do mystery frags, sending them to people and have them to send it to me because it's so challenging. It's so much more challenging than knowing everything about the fragrance. It is. And I wish more fragrance reviewers would do this. But a lot of fragrance reviewers might have been like me. They're afraid to be wrong during a review. There's nothing to be afraid about being wrong. I'm wrong all the time, but it's still fun to me. And I'd rather do stuff like this and blind reviews than doing reviews of fragrances that I already know everything about. Wow, that's interesting. I wouldn't have guessed this. Oud lemon mint. I had no idea. That was fun. Thank you, that Cologne guy. I hope y'all enjoyed this. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. Love you guys.